whoa, you guys have sent some really fascinating stuff over on African traditional religion and Kemetic culture. And I'm very curious to kind of dive into it with you, especially with all the interest in pre-colonial African cultures these days. Like, we've got Sharri Plaza's work, yeah, which seems very passionate about Kemetic culture, and then a more academic take from Paulinus Odazor Ogun on African traditional religion in general. Yeah, it's a great mix for exploring how these ancient beliefs still resonate today. I think we've got a really unique opportunity here to like bridge that gap. That's so we can understand the enduring power of African spirituality. I am so dead. So one thing I keep hearing is Kemetic culture. And it's clear that Sharri Plaza like connects with that really deeply. But for someone like me, who's a little less familiar, what does that term even mean? Right. And how does it fit into this bigger picture of African traditional religions? So Kemeticism is basically like a modern echo, of ancient Egyptian beliefs. So think, pyramids, pharaohs, all that rich history that we think about, right? It's essentially a revival movement that's inspired by their spirituality. Okay, so it's rooted in a very specific place and time, the ancient Egypt. Absolutely. But we're talking about African traditional religions more broadly. Like you were saying, it's not a monolith. Exactly. Africa is a huge continent with so many different cultures and spiritual expression. Yeah. I always tell people it's like saying all hip hop is music, but not all music is hip hop. Okay, I love that. That's a great analogy. So Odazor really stresses how crucial it is to understand African traditional religion in order to grasp African theology overall, even for something like Christian theology. Yeah. So for someone starting from scratch, what are the absolute must know? Well, I think the core idea with African traditional religions is interconnectedness. Okay. And it's this beautiful concept of a hierarchy. So that you have God at the top, and then you have ancestors, and then spirits, and then humans, and then nature. Wow. And they're all linked by this like vital force. So it's like a spiritual energy that flows through all of it. Exactly. And that's where that respect for elders and tradition comes in. Oh, good. Because they're seen as closer to that vital force. Interesting. The keepers of wisdom, Yeah. I love how Odazor referred to ancestors as the custodians of tradition. It's a great phrase, isn't it? Yeah. He also talks about them as enforcers of norms. And he quotes MBT as saying there are no secret sins, right? It's about outward actions affecting relationships. So this isn't just about what you believe, it's also about how you live your life. Absolutely, it's lived experience, which is a powerful link, I think, between spirituality and morality. Absolutely. But morality is almost like woven into the fabric of existence in this worldview. Exactly. It's this idea of a morally saturated universe. Yeah. Where every action has consequences. Science issue, it ripples outward, right? It affects the community, it affects the spirit world. Like everything is touched. And I don't like what you do. That's intense. I don't know why I'm thinking like this. It's making me think about like those really intricate domino displays where they like set them all up and then one little push, creates a huge chain reaction. And I love that. Yeah, I love that analogy. And it gets even more interesting when you think about Mbedi's point. Okay, about there being no secrets in life. That's huge because that means it's really your outward actions. Okay. So things that affect other people and your relationships. Those are the things that matter most. So less about what's going on up here. Yeah. More about the real world impact. Exactly. Okay. Exactly. You got it. And I think you were talking about, it's all about maintaining that harmony. Yeah, that balance within the community and with the spiritual world. However, I do want to acknowledge it's not a free for all. Okay. Even within this framework, certain actions are universally condemned. Okay. Like Odazor points to strong taboos against things like adultery, incest, and murder acts, right? They're like deeply harmful to the community's well-being. So there are still lines, absolutely, you don't cross. There are still lines you just don't cross. Okay, got it. And the consequences of crossing those lines, they're very real and they're very immediate within this worldview. Yeah, it's not so much about like divine judgment. It's more about the very real harm that's caused within the community. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay, so this brings us back to Sharri Plaza. Yes, and her passion for Kemetic culture. If someone today feels really drawn to these traditions, what's the appeal beyond just the rituals and beliefs? Is it something that resonates with like how people are living and searching for meaning today? Yeah. It's like it's almost like this idea of like kind of tapping into like a deeper well, of wisdom and meaning. Totally. And I think it's interesting you bring up abundant life because I think when a lot of people think about religion or spirituality, they think about like, right, the afterlife. What happens when you die, right? Exactly. Yeah. But with African traditional religion, it's not just about the afterlife. Okay. Abundant life is something that you experience like right now in this life. And in that life, it's about finding that balance and harmony, like right now with your community, with the world around you. Wow, so it's about aligning yourself with like that flow of energy that we were talking about. Yeah, and finding your place within it. Exactly. And I think that really resonates with people, yeah, who are maybe feeling adrift or disconnected in the world today. Totally. Especially when you think about, yeah, how much our world is driven by like material wealth and status and things like that. And it speaks to this broader trend that we're seeing. Okay, which is like this resurgence of interest in, yeah, African traditional religions in general. Okay, it's Kemetic culture or other traditions. Right. It's a way for people to connect with their heritage, to find a sense of belonging and identity. It's like reclaiming a narrative almost. Exactly. Yeah, a way of seeing the world that like challenges, right? Those dominant like Western paradigms. Okay, I love that. But I think it's important to approach this exploration with like enthusiasm. Yeah, but also a critical eye. Okay. Like appreciating the beauty and the wisdom. Right. It doesn't mean that you have to blindly accept everything. Sure. Because as with any belief system, there are aspects that might not resonate. Right. Of course, the modern sensibilities, like that voice sharing concept we talked about. Exactly. Yeah. No, thank you. Not something to romanticize our past. Exactly. Yeah. Long text is key here. Okay. You need to understand the historical and cultural background, right, of these traditions in order to engage with them responsibly. So learn and explore, but don't leave your critical thinking at the door. I love that. Yes, learn, explore, but don't check your brain at the door. Exactly. I love it. Well, on that note, dear listener, we're going to leave you with one final thought to ponder. If African traditional religion offers this path to abundant life, what could that possibly look like for you? Right here, right now. You don't have to go build a pyramid or anything. No. But what if you took that core idea like we've been talking about? Living in balance, living in harmony, being connected to something larger than yourself. Yes. And you made it your own. Love it. What would that look like in your daily life? Such a good question. Something to chew on. Until next time, keep diving deep.